Well, bowling fans, today again, Motion Plus Lanes the site, the 5th annual Action Team Shootout. Joey, always really good tournaments here at Motion Plus Lanes, but the bowlers really look forward to this team shootout most of all because they love bowling the team concept, especially Baker team.
Bowling Baker, there's nothing more fun and enjoyable, and there's a little added pressure on you because you don't want to let the other 4 bowlers down, but we're going to see some good shot making today.
And for those of you not familiar with the Baker format, each bowler on a team of the 5 bowlers bowls 2 frames a game. The leadoff bowler bowls the 1st and the 6th, second bowler is the 2nd and the 7th, and so on all the way through the anchor bowler in the 5th and 10th. Opening match, we have the home team, I guess you could say, Motion Plus Lanes. It's captained by Kerry Cudahy, but you really got to build off the 2 bowlers that are going to be bowling the 9th and 10th frames for him today, Eric Fritton and Chad Kloss.
Well, they got some heavy hitters. There's a lot of talent on that team, some PBA experience on that team. You got to make them the early odds favorites.
And the opening match, 2-game total pin match we'll be bowling. They're going to be bowling against Kingpins out of St. Francis. We've seen Kingpins on the team shootout before. A little different lineup this time, but you got some bowlers out there that are pretty solid, and especially one lefty that's had a heck of a day today is Matt Wisniewski.
Well, Matt definitely the star of that team, and he's got power, he's got accuracy, he knows how to play the lanes, he bowls at that house. He's going to throw a lot of strikes.
2-game total pin match. Winner goes on to the championship match. Town and Country Lanes out of Burlington. They've been sitting around for a while. They were a leading qualifier, so they didn't have to bowl the semifinal best 4 out of 7 match play at all. So I don't think they'll be a little rusty. They get to warm up. They get to get some practice balls on the lanes, and they led qualifying by over 100 pins for 16 Baker games. So we know they can play. Great anchor bowler in Jerry Reamer.
They know how to play as a team. They're missing a couple of their star players that they typically take with them to nationals, but their replacements seem more than adequate.
Yeah. And a lot of money on the line today, $1,400 for first place, thanks to our sponsors at Action Heating and Cooling. Joe Serrano will be back from Motion Plus Lanes with the call in just a minute for that opening match, so make sure you stay tuned. Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Bluemont Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. 2014 Action Team Shootout. Usually we just get proprietor here, Kerry Cudahy, kicking off the matches and walking out behind the lanes, but his team made the TV show this year. He'll be out bowling with his team, taking on Kingpins, a fine beverage distributing place in Cudahy as well. Been there a few times over my life, Joey.
Right, longtime supporter of bowling and softball.
Absolutely. Well, very familiar face to you, Joey. Scott Stoltz starting us off here on lane 9 at Motion Plus Lanes.
Scotty Too Hottie Stoltz just celebrated his 40th birthday, April 1st.
Pretty nice out of the hand and got it to take that 7 out.
Nice opening shot. Scott used the Roto Grip Uproar.
So, one of your fine customers at Bowlers Pro Shop. And Joel Slukowski here. Joel, second time we've seen him on our telecast here at Motion Plus Lanes. Holding the older contingent in, age 56, lives in Oak Creek, 9 career 300 games.
Firm speed, down and in style, and a double bad break on his opening shot.
Well, if you're going to open, even the Baker team concept, open in the first frame. Little money for Joey if he makes it. We do offer the $100 prize from Essential Bowling Concepts for a 710 or Big 4 conversion on TV. If we happen to see a 300 game on TV today, it'll be worth $300 from Motion Plus Lanes and Essential Bowling Concepts.
Well, if any one of these bowlers can do it, it should be Joe. And oops, but you got to hit one of them first.
Yeah, you can tell you gave that one a little extra gusto trying to kick it out of the pit, but hopefully one pin doesn't come back to bite Kingpins at the end of this 2-game total pin match. Oh, Kingpins St. Francis. I thought it was in Cudahy. I guess I haven't been there often enough. Just got the note handed to me by the production staff.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of near the border of St. Francis and Cudahy, but Kerry Cudahy's opening shot, 50 years of age.
Needs to hook a little more, and boy, they say proprietors usually know every lane in the house. I think he needs to learn that one how to hook it up a little bit more.
Well, you know, Kerry does know every lane in the house and each lane's characteristics. And Kerry generally uses tamer equipment in his house. liking to stay closer to the friction rather than playing, say, fifth arrow out to 10.
So Kerry he was back on the Pro Tour back in the 80s, took over here at Motion Plus Lanes about 8 years ago now, I believe. So
that sounds about right. He's done many improvements, and bowlers love it.
I mean, this tournament sold out 2 months ahead of time. This is the most popular tournament that Kerry runs here between the singles and the alternate shot doubles. It's sponsored by our friends at Action Heating and Cooling. Ryan Babcock, 33 years of age, out of St. Francis, and can't quite get that 10 out of there.
Almost a pocket 710 for Ryan.
So, hobbies for Ryan outside of bowling, bar Olympic Games. It could be quite a few things out there, darts or pool, but he's been running Kingpins for quite a few years, part of the family business there.
Probably cribbage as well.
Absolutely. Switches to that polyester ball, no problem covering up that corner pin. And Motion Plus Lanes, big struggle. They were the 5th seed going into the semifinals. Had to beat a team captained by Dave Barris. They won 4 games to 2 in the semifinal roll-off to make it to the TV show. And here's a guy we see all the time here at Motion Plus Lanes on TV, Dave Lubinsky.
Yeah, using a Rotogrip Asylum, leaves a solid 10-pin on his opening shot.
You know,
Dave, 26 years of age, half his experience as Kerry Catania.
It's hard to believe that a ball that has that many revs and is thrown that hard can ring up a 10-pin at all. So, some of the bowlers from Town and Country Lanes, Jerry Reamer, team captain, you see there on the right, waiting to take on the winner of this match. They were the top seed after qualifying. They got an automatic buy into the TV show, and Dave holds on to get that 10-pin. New face to TV here, Tim Gregg out of Greenfield. 34 years of age, 300 games under his belt, and a high set of 814. Very style when I saw him bowl, kind of reminded me a little bit of Henry Teets, especially with the forward roll on the ball. Henry, another player we see here all the time. Nice and direct to the pocket, and very Teets-like there.
Got the job done, and high flush, no late pocket 710 on his shot.
Yeah, Henry Teets and the rest of the Horsemen bowled today. Unfortunately, without Ron Volks, I want to send best wishes and quick healing to Ron. Had a little bit of a bowling-related accident recently. I know he just had surgery. Hopefully it's successful. He gets back on the lane shortly. So we missed you today, Ron.
Yeah, tore his bicep and his bowling arm.
Eric Fritton, boy, he just straps it up and owns this house a lot of times.
Yes, he does. And Eric, an author of 76 300 games, and that number may be higher as of today.
See that there? Watch that messenger come back. No need for it though. 7-pin was long gone. And first time we've seen on TV here with the Time Warner Cable Sports Channel telecast, Bob Nowacek out of Greendale. His favorite pro bowler is Dave Barris. Dave, Midwest Regional PBA Player of the Year for 2012-2013. He's having a pretty good 2014 so far. And Bob would like to borrow Dave's carry a little bit and get that 10-pin out.
And almost a pocket 710 there from Bob. So definitely we're seeing a characteristic of the right lane going a little longer or not finishing as strong. You can see the huge amount of deflection on that shot.
Yeah. And it is fresh oil on the pair today. So as always with the tournaments here at Motion Plus, we put fresh oil, the same pattern the bowlers started the tournament on today, but they bowled 16 Baker games, one game on each lane in the house during qualifying. And then the number 1 seed, Town and Country Lanes, got a bye to the TV show. Kingpins qualified third, won their match 4 games to 2 against Gutormson's Recreation Center at Kenosha. A few Illinois bowlers on that team as well. Keith Garrett made an appearance for that team, and tough battle, lose 4-2 for Keith's team.
Here's everyone's favorite ex-PBA player, Chad Kloss, 37 years of age, author of 78 300 games.
I don't think I have that many on Wii bowling, let alone real bowling, and another great shot there by Chad. And you can see what put him on the tour. Nicely done, gets Motion Plus out to a 10-pin lead. Minimum here, depending on what Matt Wisniewski does. Getting to our first commercial break of the day.
And a number of these players bowl here in league, so they have a little, let's say, clear insight into the characteristics of this pair. Matt, reasonably strong rev rate, left-handed player, takes the circular route.
Yeah, maybe using that pink and black Diva bowling ball, but no Diva there on that strike. We're going to get to our commercial break. Join Joe Soraya and I back for Motion Plus Lanes for the rest of this opening match. Back at Motion Plus Lanes, opening game of our 2-game total pin semifinal in the Action Team Shootout, the 2014 edition. Enjoy Scott Stoltz stepping up with a 10-pin lead for his team.
Since we're in limited time here, we'll put a little shout out to Kim Kenny on Scott's bio sheet.
Yeah, see Kim back there. I'm sure we'll get her on camera shortly. She's always tries to be a little camera shy during these TV telecasts, but we'll sneak one up on her. And just can't quite get the 10 out. A little bit of a weak 10 there.
Yeah, a little different roll on that ball than his opening shot.
Now, for a lot of people that might not know, haven't seen Scott bowl on TV before, up until about 3 years ago, he used to finish on his left foot when he slid, or his right foot when he slid, correct?
Right, and he has converted, and he's at 3,300 games, and I believe those are all sliding on the right foot. So he's still looking for his first off his left foot, but sure to come sooner than later. As you can see, good balance, good slide, good conversion.
Gets that 10-pin down, switch to that polyester ball, and maintains a 9-pin lead for Motion Plus, but Kingpins can take their first lead of the match if Joel Zlukowski can bounce back here off that bad break in his first frame of that pocket 710. Want to thank his daughter Shannon for all her support over the years. He's got a Tri-City Association Scratch Team title under his belt, and a wrap 10.
Yeah, that one, it looked like he kept a little tighter inside his target line, and a solid 10 that time. Carry not quite as good as we thought it would be.
No, you know, it's kind of funny because we see it in the singles tournaments here. You know, we usually see it takes about 260 to win in the Action Singles Shootout. Alternate shot doubles, we had that great match this year between Roxanne and Rochelle and Tony Roventini. Took 279 for them to win their match over 278 with Kyle Gertzen and Mike Jamrose. So whether we'll see a 270 or 260 the game, it could be tough just because you're doing that Baker format, only bowling 2 frames a game.
Let's see if Kerry can make an adjustment off his opening shot, where he left a kind of a soft 10-pin.
Yeah. You know, Kerry, a big supporter of Toys for Tots. He has that huge fundraiser in December there. Rumor has it the hair is up for auction. They can raise $10,000 for Toys for Tots in one sitting. He's willing to part with the hair for Locks of Love. So we'll see if we can get working on that sometime soon. And a great shot there for Kerry.
Well, with that deep Sicilian blood, you know it's going to grow back rather quickly.
Absolutely. Mario and Luigi wish they could grow a mustache in those video games like Kerry has. Ryan Babcock looking to get himself back in the pocket here. Surprising he doesn't have a 300 game yet. He's got a high at 290. Figure with that rev rate and that speed, he'd be able to get 300. Now he's 2 for 2 on his, or pardon me, 1 for 2 on his carry with carrying that strike.
Yeah, let's see if Dave can also go 1 for 2. Left the 10-pin his opening shot. Dave, an author of 15 300 games and 2 Action and Heating singles titles.
Absolutely. He's our first repeat winner of that tournament. Beat out Henry Teets to become the first 2-time winner. And is that going to get the 4-pin? That is a bad break there on that 4-9.
Yeah, and Dave definitely made some type of an adjustment off the soft 10.
So, you know, you can have a pretty strong lineup to have a bowler like Dave Lubinsky in your number 3 and number 8 spot in a Baker format game.
Well, I mean, you look at their lineup, and pretty much every player is interchangeable.
Just a matter of who's got the hot hand at a particular time. Giving it a run and just misses it.
Good attempt from David. Changes the match a little bit, though.
Yeah, Kingpins, while they're on the bench, gets their first lead of the match by 5 pins. And if Tim Gregg can strike here, they can extend it out to 15.
Well, he did strike on his opening shot.
High series of 8-14 for Tim. I want to thank his wife Juliana and daughter Cheyenne for all our support with his bowling. That needs to hold. I thought that was going to creep high, Joey.
Yep, it's very similar to his opening shot.
That high one, and we've seen it with Henry Teets, and that's why Henry's had a lot of success here as well with getting that firm, straight shot to get into the pocket and carry and hold.
Yeah, Henry's had a lot of success everywhere.
That's a good point. See what Eric Fritton can do here. Strapping lefty. Nice off the hand. And the reverse 5.
2 for 2 for Eric Fritton.
And his teammates having a little laugh at him there about that. Ball gets to the pocket and the 5-pin falls to the left. Not the way it's really supposed to happen for a lefty.
You know, all these players have authored at least one 800 series, but Eric Fritton's high is 880.
Yeah. believe he did that at Blue Mountain Bowl a few years back. Sandwiched a 280 game between a couple of 300. So 35 out of 36 strikes for an evening. Bob Nowacek, first time up, left himself a little bit of a ring 10. That needs some help to get back, and another ring 10 for Bob, and yeah, a little bit of extra entry angle kind of bit him there.
Yeah, finished a little stronger than the opening shot, but it's still a 10 pin, but holds their lead.
Bob, I want to thank Mark of Pro Comp Auto Body. I know they sponsor quite a few bowling teams in the area, Pro Comp, so I guess if you need some auto body work done, Mark, give me a free plug. I'm going to stop in and get some Bondo. Bob, no problem covering up that 10 pin. Keeps his team in the lead. This is a 2-game total pin match, so there's no match play here. That way, keep it fair. Each team has to bowl 1 game on each lane on the pair, and Bob and Chad will talking back and forth. I mean, I know they go back probably all the way to when they first came out of junior leagues, bowling against each other in the area.
So Chad knows he needs a double to take the lead. Anything less, and Kingpin maintains the lead.
Yeah, every stick counts in these 2-game total pin matches. 8 steps for Chad on that approach and release, and that bit up hard, and wow, there's half. Not a good half either.
That may have surprised him a little bit.
So yeah, he's shaking his head.
Not that often these players come high.
No, not at all. I mean, all day if you were seeing mistakes, it was you'd see buckets, you'd see 2-4-5s or 3-5-6s for the lefties. Weren't too many shots you see where bowlers paid the full price going through the nose, and an even bigger insult to just take 2 on the spare attempt.
Chopping the 6 off the 9, not an easy task.
No, and that's another pin account. 1 equals 2 on those strikes, so instead of 169 on that chop, 167. If Matt Wisniewski can strike out here, Kingpins can take a 40-pin lead going into game number 2 and really take command of this match. Matt off 18 300 games and a high set of 821. He's been bowling since he's been 7 years old. And another fine shot by Matt. Well, these lefties seem to have it right now out there. Eric Fritton for Motion Plus and Matt Wisniewski for Kingpins. Maybe after Chad's shot there, maybe switch Eric into the anchor spot for game number 2.
Might not be a bad move, and you know there is less play on the left side, and a lot of that oil in the front part of the lane and mid lane holds up longer, which can obviously help the ball retain its energy a little bit better than, say, on the right side where it gets used up and beat up a little bit.
Yeah. Matt want to thank his wife Lisa and stepdaughter Shayla for all their support, and no chance of anything standing on that shot there. They were just pins scrambling all over the place. And he commandingly, it's amazing in bowling how quickly a lead can change with an open frame and a string of strikes.
But no lead is safe either.
No.
We've seen big leads diminish quickly.
Absolutely. We've had a match at Motion Plus Lanes where a bowler was down by 50 pins early in the shootout and ran the last 7 strikes in order to win the tournament. So it can happen. Looking to finish out for that 207 here. Rolls up nice. Gets that 5-pin out on the scrambler, and a 40-pin lead for Kingpins out of St. Francis over Motion Plus Lanes after game 1, but there's still one more game to go in this match, and Joe Serra and I will be back with that from Motion Plus Lanes in just a couple of minutes. Make sure you stay tuned.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
Well, I don't think Jerry Catania is just trying to pump the crowd up here at Motion Plus Lanes. He's got to bump his team up a little bit more, too. They're down by 40 pins after game 1, and, you know, you figure home team advantage, but as you mentioned in the first match, Joy, a lot of these bowlers bowl here in league as well that we're seeing on TV today, so not really a home field advantage for Motion Plus Lanes.
Well, Kerry's hometown is La La Land in California, Los Angeles. We should call him Hollywood Carey.
Joe Zlukowski starting us off, and a good break there to just leave the 3-6.
So we may be seeing the characteristics of both pairs here, in that the left lane hooking up a little stronger, the right lane going a little longer. Even though the team that won the first match did bowl on the tighter of the two lanes.
Yep. And they did not get practice while we were in the commercial break between these two games, so they had to sit around waiting, and then you got to kind of discover what changes in the oil pattern happened when your team wasn't on that lane, and you're going to see a lot of talking between teammates right here. Whether you made a good shot, bad shot, how the ball reacted, and you can see already Joe going back there and talking to his teammates what happened.
And if you take experience into consideration here, you'd think the heavy favorites would be Scott Stolzstein with Chad Kloss, Eric Fritton, Kerry Catania, and Dave Levinsky.
Yeah, you'd think so, and we just saw a wife and a girlfriend of Motion Plus Lanes members. We saw Kim Kenny there talking to Jeannie Catania, wife of owner Kerry, or actually, she's actually the owner. We just let Kerry say he's the owner.
There you go.
Scott 1 for 2 the first game. Left a 10-pin in his shot last time up. Gets to the face nicely and gets that corner out.
Carries the light mixer, the Steve Grabowski, where the 5-pin is blown helplessly to the right.
So
Steve retired from bowling this past season, but you never know, he may come back.
I've seen his daughter a few times bowls in league with my wife at Riviera Lanes on Wednesday nights. And
Daughter Stephanie,
so yeah. And his wife both bowl on Wednesday nights in the same league my wife does, so had a fun time going to watch them there at Riviera a few times. And how about that trip for Mr. Babcock?
Yeah, a lot of power on that ball. No solid 9.
That's a big break right there to keep that 40-pin lead
now, this doesn't sound like a big shot being only in frame 2, but again, it's only a 2-game match, and they need to start striking sooner than later.
Yeah, and right now,
so if they can cut into that 40-pin lead little by little, that may put a little pressure on Team Procom. Or, I'm sorry, Team Kingpins.
Yeah, they're just trying to get into it 10 pins at a time here with a double if Catania can bring it in, and a bucket crumbler.
Back-to-back light mixers.
Where's his pin chaser right there? A little celebration, the Pete Weber crotch chop on the way back.
Needs a cleanup on that lane.
Yes, indeed. Just watch that hip and barely tickle the 2-pin down. That ball was another 1/8 of an inch lighter. That would have been a bucket. Oh, Tim Gregg, 2 for 2 so far. Holding his team in nicely in that number 3 spot, and that needs some help.
Yeah, and he was very straight, high, hard ones on the right lane. Looks like if he misses a board or so right, Cole did not have a chance to recover.
I think I heard his thumb hole, like the ball was rolling over the thumb hole there too, Joey, so I guess a release change would do that.
Could
on
be.
The bottom of the
Could
swing.
Be.
Yeah, and I guess if you're rolling over your thumb hole, not making contact all the time with the lane, maybe that kicked off, or who knows.
Better release off the hand there, and she almost gets it, but leaves them an opening, and again,
a big tide turn possible here with Dave Levinsky up. Could easily. Hey, speaking of Levinsky, the patriarch,
the Big Mike
Levinsky. One guy I'm surprised with his career. I know he's got a couple. I believe he's got a couple of city titles under his belt. I know he doesn't bowl as much as he used to, but he was always fun to bowl with at places like Strakota's Millshore Bowl, All-Star Lanes, absolutely, and a big shot there by his son.
Brown Deer Lanes.
Brown Deer Lanes as well.
Port Lanes.
Look at that, 10 back in the pit, splits that 8 and 9, no problem, and he knew, flush in the pocket, little gentle fist pump from the Gentle Giant on the way down. They were calling him Tugboat earlier today, like the old WWE wrestler. So, Bob Nowacek up in the 4th frame. Really just got to stop the bleeding here right now for Kingpins. Trying to maintain that lead, and a slap on the 10 gets it out.
Yeah, carries the 10 on that shot, or it would have been 3 for 3. And Bob, a recent retiree from the U.S. Post Office.
Yes, indeed. So, got his career in there. Don't know what he's looking to do in the future. I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve. See what Eric Fritton can do. They left him in the number 4 spot.
He can stay perfect. Gets it right, a little left, and comes back right nice and hard. And the lefties have the field day out there. Phil.
Yes, they do.
So they're coming.
Down. Actually, that gives Motion Plus Lanes a 2-pin lead. So in 4 frames, they've gone from 40 pins down to a 2-pin advantage. And now it's just a matter of holding it. But Matt Wisniewski stays out here. Kingpins can get that lead right back. Unusual start there. As soon as he gets that thumb in the ball, Matt, that's his trigger to go. Revs it off the hand and a slap on the 7. Taking it out, and the lead swings back to Kingpins. I'll tell you what, other than the first time we had the action team shootout, we've never had boring matches in these TV finals here. They always seem to run down to the 10th frame of the second game of the matches. Chad Kloss, strike here, gets his team back up by 2 pins, getting in the commercial break for this game.
Yeah, Chad will definitely want to make up for his last shot where he accidentally split in the 10th.
Soft off the hand that time, and way to tickle the 8-10 out.
That is what good roll will get you, Phil.
Good roll into the pocket. Motion Plus Lanes now up by 2 pins, getting in the commercial break for this game. We'll be back for Motion Plus in just a minute with the rest of our semifinal match. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in a Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too. Cassie Hauner, formerly Cassie Molbeck, bowled today on Dave Barris' team, just missing the TV show, sporting her High Five Gear jacket. Want to thank Todd Molbeck and all the staff at High Five Gear for all our support of the televised bowling here on Time Warner Cable SportsChannel, especially our Youth Challenge Series events. Joel Zukowski looking to get that strike string continued for his team here, and just tickles the 7 out.
And that's a turkey. So they're not going down easy, Phil.
No, 8 pins is the lead for Kingpins after that strike, but it can go right back to Motion Plus Lanes if Scott Stoltz can step up here and get a team 6-bagger, half a dozen.
Well, he started this run with that opening strike in the first frame. Carried a light mixer. We'll see if he makes any adjustment.
6 steps to the line. That was a little quick out of the hand, but boy, did that face up nicely.
Could have been a stone 8. So that's a friendly 6-bagger, which keeps the match nice and tight.
And once again, we mentioned it early on in the show. If a team does shoot 300 out here today, it is a $300 bonus courtesy of Motion Plus Lanes and Essential Bowling Concepts. And something would tell me with Curie getting that, I think a good chunk of his money would go to Toys for Tots, no doubt about that. Once again, they raised over $13,000 in cash and a bunch of boxes of toys for Tots this year. Want to thank that and the bowlers in our tournaments here for the action team, singles, and doubles tournaments all help raise money for that as well.
First soft temping we've seen in quite some time, but
yeah, watch that ball, just big time deflection there. Ryan's favorite pro bowler, Pete Weber, because he gets the ground, gets the crowd going wild. He has a good time when he bowls, and hey, make sure you see Ryan on TV here. Make sure next time you stop in at Kingpins in St. Francis, you tell him you saw him.
and he may even buy you one.
He may even buy you one. You never know. You know, we want to thank all of our sponsors and supporters. Make sure you go to your local bowling center like Castle Lanes, Motion Plus, Classic Lanes, Greenfield. Make sure you thank the staff there for supporting all this televised bowling on Time Warner Cable SportsChannel. If you need some air conditioning work done, it's starting to get warm outside. It is May. Give Action Heating and Cooling a call. The Peckus family will be more than happy to get a technician out there and get your air conditioning running or get your new unit ASAP. Nice and direct from Mr. Catania there, and how about that?
Great shot from Kerry, and as you see, he doesn't like to circle the lane too much in his house. Keeps it rather direct.
Yes, indeed, and the front seven for his team, and now not only the pressure of keeping the lead for Motion Plus Lanes for these last three bowlers in their lineup, but keeping the perfect game going as well. So, Tim Gregg here really... Strike is a must right now, as hot as Motion Plus Lanes is. He needs to...
Left the washout last time up. Better shot off his hand. Oh, 5 got kind of intercepted there on its way to the 7 pin.
Yeah, a little slow tipping over, and I think it was the head pin that came back off the wall and kept it from getting there. Let's see if we get our replay here at the pins, and yep, the head pin just kind of knocked it out of the way. Well,
right now, spare's a must, otherwise this one's over for Kingpins. As hot as Motion Plus Lanes is running right now, and a little slow roller.
And you notice you see more of those blower 7-pins in today's game because the balls are stronger, so it doesn't miss the 5-pin. It hits the 5, but when it doesn't hit the 5 with enough authority, it ends up in front of the 7.
Or
years ago, the ball would miss the 5-pin, and you'd see a 5-7 or a 5-pin.
Absolutely. Even some 5-10 sometimes you see out there. Dave Lubinsky, no doubt that's 10 in the pit for him.
And Dave has probably never left a 5-pin. We know his dad has.
Yeah.
He bowled in our era.
Oh, I remember one time many moons ago at Sir Crow's Millshire on a Friday night, Mike Lubinsky almost left the 5-7-10. The 7 fell very, very late. But that was always a tough house to score at Sir Crow's Millshire, and the 1 year I averaged 210 there. I was the only lefty to ever do it before they closed up shop. I take pride in that in my bowling career.
See if Bob can catch another strike. He did on his opening shot on this lane, but ball didn't drive on the back end there. Leaves a light 2-8.
Yeah, and this is going to be last call for Kingpins, unfortunately, even with the spare here. Most they're going to be able to shoot max out for is 214, and with Motion Plus Lanes, even if they go spare, they're at a 250 pace. That's going to get them enough to take the victory. Bob very direct at that 2-8, no problem covering it up. Well, now it's just extending the lead and keeping the perfect game going. And for a guy with 76 300 games, this is the guy you want in your 9th frame to set it up for your anchor.
Well, since you have a bowler with 78 300 games as the 5th bowler, yes, you can put Eric in the 4 slot.
That's a little different attitude as a team, and how about that?
Just vacuums the pins off the deck.
And you were part of a Baker 300, one of the first, the Baker 3-man 300. You had the first one in ABC or USBC history, Joey. And
right, at Fox Run Lanes.
It's a lot different pressure situation for you in these Baker perfect games than it is if you're going for one yourself.
Well, all right, you can only let yourself down in a regular 300 game, but when you have teammates, it means a little bit more.
Matt Wisniewski looking to just keep it close here and shreds that rack.
Shreds the rack, but a little too late, it appears. He can go out for a 214 game, and the least motion is going to shoot is 260.
Yeah, assuming that Chad just stays behind the foul line on the first shot no matter what happens. They are in the 260s, so it will be Motion Plus Lanes advancing to our championship match.
Right, but Matt wants to get off the approach as quickly as he can so he can witness that 300 game.
Absolutely, you know, and it's a little sport, you know, a little sportsmanship, a little common courtesy as well. So, but you still want to make yourself look good on TV, right, just like that. Favorite pro bowler of Matt's, Parker Bone III, classic style of that gentleman. Just recently won his first PBA 50 title.
See, I would have guessed it might have been Ryan Simonelli. A little younger player, definitely more of a power player.
Yeah, I'm sure for a modern day player, yeah, but Matt probably grew up watching the ESPN telecast and watching Parker on there all those times.
But for longevity, you can't beat Parker, and don't know if Ryan's going to be bowling as well as Parker does into his 50s.
Oh, nice finish there. Got the double and 7 on the meaningless last ball, just getting out of the way for Chad Kloss here. Kingpins going to finish up a 2-game total of 418. They're going to take home a nice chunk of money today for second place.
Now we know Chad is one of the top clutch players in Milwaukee for decades.
Yeah, I tried bowling pot games against him a couple of nights on Mondays at Classic Lanes Greenfield back in the day, and that was just basically taking a lighter to my money, and he'd like to take a lighter to that 7-pin right now and burn it.
I think he thought it was good off the hand.
His team did too. You see the reaction of his teammates there, and they're just a little disappointed, a little yell at the crowd, way to be selfish. Yeah, but hey, he put it there.
He put some pins near that 7, but none knocked it over.
Slow hook into that, and now they got to worry about keeping the momentum going because Town and Country Lanes led qualifying today by almost 100 pins over 16 games of Baker format play. And even though they've been on the sideline for a couple of hours now, they're going to come out fighting.
Yeah, you can just see the dejection in Chad's face when he saw that 7-pin not cooperate.
Strike here gets Motion Plus Lanes 279 and a 2.
You know the Phil ball is going to carry. It always is.
They always do on these. So 446 to 418. Motion Plus Lanes advances to the championship match here for the 2014 Action Team Shootout. Joe Sir and I will be back for Motion Plus Lanes for that final 2-game total pin match in just a moment. Make sure you stick around.
Of course, I see your High Five gear does a lot with our Youth Challenge Series kids, and you've been wearing this power sleeve since it came out. Tell the fans what it does for you.
Well, it's something we asked for, too. You know, we bowl a lot of games, and over time, obviously, I put in tens and, I don't know, 20s of thousands or hundreds of thousands. I don't know how many games, but, you know, so it's something to help keep everything together on these long days where, you know, we're bowling a lot. We're bowling a lot of different formats. It keeps everything tight around here, the elbow and that, so I don't have any pain there, and then it's breathable. It's great, you know, so it keeps it warm when it's cold out, and it breathes when it's hot.
Yeah. So make sure you go to highfivegear.com and check out those power sleeves, because they can customize them any way you want, too. They're awesome. I have one of them myself.
With 24 state-of-the-art lanes, plenty of pool tables and dartboards, and great food and drink at Sporty's Bar and Grill, Sunset Bowl in Waukesha is your #1 place for fun. Steve Fisher joining in for the match opening here with Gary Catania for the championship of the 2014 Action Team Shootout here at Motion Plus Lanes in Cudahy. Once again, 2-game total pin match. Town and Country has been on the sidelines for almost 2 hours now waiting for this TV show after getting the bye in the semifinals, and Steve Fisher looking to get the team started off hot.
Nice opening shot, aggressive play. 10 back, Phil.
Absolutely, and we've seen Steve before a couple years ago on our 2+1 trios tournament, bowled with Katie Saffold. Had a pretty good outing there. His team finished in 3rd place. And he's pretty fired up to be on TV again out of Winthrop Harbor, Illinois for Steve Fisher. And Scott Stoltz has been leading off his team quite well today. Nice out of the hand, faces up nicely, and once again starts his team with a strike.
High hard one there, and again on that lane, I think Scott can get away with that. And the ball just kind of reacts a little later, sets up perfectly. Ball finishes behind the 5-pin.
Yeah, Scott started each of these 3 games for his team now with a strike. Can't ask for anything better of a leadoff. First time on TV for Derek Bolton out of Waukegan, Illinois. Crossing the border, bowls at Sunset Lanes down there. And he'd like to have his first TV shot back leaving that 410.
Yeah, and again, he is on the drier of the 2 lanes. I mean, we know that, and if they've been watching intently, I'm sure they're aware of that as well.
Steve, one of the youngest players on the telecast today, 28 years old. Favorite pro bowler all time, Walter Ray Williams. Wanted to thank his mom and dad, all the support they've given him with his bowling over the years. And smart to just take one early on in the match.
Oh, yeah. A lot of frames left, Phil.
So, Gary Catania taking his time getting up to the approach. Probably was serving drinks at the bar between frames.
getting this nice-sized crowd that's still watching the finals here.
Probably lining up some shots for his team after that fine 279 game. Now, it's not an easy task to follow a big game on the same lane.
Yeah, and so it's kind of surprising that Town and Country did let Motion Plus start on lane 10 here, but...
Well, they either start on it or they finish on it, right?
Yep, exactly. So, but with the team just coming off a 279 game, you'd think you'd want to move them back to the left lane where they struggle a little bit. But Carey a little frustrated there, leaving that 2-8. You can see he's trying to stay loose off the hand, not try to have to take a can opener and pry it off, as Patrick Allen likes to say on the Pro Tour. Not happy with the result. So you can tell with Carey, he'll let you know if it's operator, or he's not shy about it. Easy the line. That's going to need some help, and yeah, it hooked across the face.
A rare open from Carey.
And struggling a little bit today. He had a couple opens in the first game. So pardon me, he had one open the first game. So looking to get back here, and half of the authors of the only 300 we've ever had on our Time Warner Cable Sports Channel telecast with Tony Bust and the Action Alternate Shot doubles a couple years back. Dave Gajewski starts with a ring 10, so...
Yeah, Dave leaves nothing in the bag when he's on the approach. He cuts it loose. Nice aggressive shot, stone 10.
Author of 8 300 games. Want to thank his wife Shannon and his daughters Anastasia and Isabel for all their support. Saw Dave a few weeks back at Barbier's Italian Inn, South Milwaukee. Crossed paths during dinner, and I want to thank Barbier's for being a great sponsor as well. And Dave would like to get that spare tent back.
Had some Barbier's pizza just last week.
Yeah.
On our way up to state senior tournament with Mark Dempsey.
Yeah, you bowled with Mark, and Mark on the IR for a little bit, just had knee replacement surgery. Another good area bowler on the injured reserve, but we'll see him back in time for fall, I'm sure.
Yeah, he sent a picture of it, and it's about a 9-inch long, stitched up mess there right over that kneecap.
Yeah, got that same picture, and I told him I was eating Barbier's pizza at the time, and you know, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful on sending those pictures there, Mark.
Yeah, should give us a warning prior.
A little heads up, and Dave, no problem, covering up that 7-pin.
So I'm not seeing as many strikes this match as I thought we would be seeing. But again, lanes go through transition. We see the pros get fooled for a while after a big game or match, and the lanes change, and the bowlers need to read those adjustments.
Yeah, well, Town and Country did get the practice, 8 minutes of practice during the commercial break and during our intermission that we just had. So Motion Plus lanes had to stay on the sidelines, so it's inevitable that Town and Country could have just changed the lane pattern a little bit. And now with Rob Milbrath striking again, we can see that Town and Country knows where they need to play on the lanes. They just got to make sure they fill the frames with it. No problem. 10 back. Eric Fritton done a great job for his team so far today.
I mean, this is like pushing rewind if he strikes again, since he struck on every previous shot, but this time in a bucket.
That's surprising. I think he thought he threw it good out of his hand, and there's no other lefties out there right now. We lost our lefty with Matt Wisniewski off of Kingpins.
Yeah, what it could be is there's been a number of players shooting at 7 pins on that lane. It could be some oil carried down from the spare balls, or even from a strike ball.
Yeah, and for your first spare of the afternoon, this is the one I would want to shoot at. Lots of ways to miss these buckets. A little more direct at it, and gets them all out with the ball.
So let's see if Eric makes an adjustment next time up on that lane.
So now, Jerry Reamer up for Town and Country lanes. His wife Teresa and her father, Merrill Draper, out at Town and Country lanes in Burlington all the time. We've got the All-Star Tournament, not on TV this year, it's on internet webcast, so if you get a chance to go to Town and Country's website, they got all the links to, you can see all that All-Star bowling this year. So make sure you go and catch it if you're a bowling fan, along with these Time Warner Cable Sports Channel telecasts. Support the Town and Country All-Star Tournament. Go watch it on the web.
Yeah, it's a good showcase for some of the finer bowlers in all of Wisconsin and northern Illinois.
Absolutely. Another nice field he had out there this year. Top 16 for the men and the top 4 seniors. I know he has the internet telecast out there, and How about that for the messenger getting into the commercial break, and a little smack talk by Chad there on the way back. Nicely done by Mr. Class. Town and Country Lanes, slight lead, getting into the commercial break. We'll be back for Motion Plus Lanes with the rest of our opening game in this final match in just a moment.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com.
Joey Koza hanging around with Janine Meifert watching the bowling. And, oh, Matt Duty just popped his head up there.
And in the forefront was Mark of Pro Comp Auto Body.
Yes,
They
indeed.
do some of the finer work I've seen in the Milwaukee area, repairing automobiles, motorcycles.
So, Steve Fisher looking to match his first frame strike for his team here, and that's not good. Only getting half the pins down on a string of 2.
And we've seen most of our high shots on that lane, and he may not have missed by much.
But, yeah, and probably about a 50% chance of making this under these conditions. You can see he's going to move well to the left on the approach. He's staying with his strike ball, so he's going to try to get some angle back on that 3-pin to slide it over into the 4 and 7. Have the ball take out the 6 and the 10. And that needs some help to slide more, and only gets 3.
Yeah, another quarter inch or so to the right, and he may have made it.
Oh, swings the lead right over from Town and Country into Motion Plus's hands, and they can extend that lead. If Scott Stoltz can get his team a double, and Scott's been hot all day, keeping his team in there. 4 out of 5 strikes so far.
Right, and neither team really taking command as of yet, but we saw what happened in the last match.
Having some help to hold pocket. It held pocket, but just not enough on the 6-pin to take out the 10.
Yeah, kind of an in-betweener 10-pin there for Scott.
So watch that replay there. Ball, a little bit of deflection,
And generally, you know, when the player hits his target and we see that amount of deflection, it just didn't clear the hand the way they like it to. They didn't get quite the same rotation on the ball.
and there's times too, even though I don't bowl as often as I used to, I can feel it get a little quick off the hand, or feel it get a little spinny off the hand, and I know when it gets to the pocket, I'm gonna have problems kicking out that 7-pin, and no problem for Scott there making that 10, keeping himself clean all day.
And you see the top players do not lose their composure when that happens, because they know it was them. It is not a bad break. It was just a bad shot.
Yep, it's part of the game, and that's why you'll see the pros make that little adjustments for carry that we league bowler amateurs can't quite do, and that's why they can average 230 on a tough condition. And Derek Bolton, nice bounce back from his open first time up.
Yeah, probably just bumped in a few boards with his feet and let his power do the rest.
Well, it's easy. I mean, even though it's just a smaller crowd here at Motion Plus Lanes checking out the finals, it's not like the finals of a PBA Tour stop where there's 500 people in the stands, but you still got the lights, and you know the cameras are out there, and sometimes first time out those nerves are run a little high.
See if Kerry can bounce back from his 2-8 he left on his opening shot. A little bit light in the pocket.
A little tight out of his hand there, and comes up big time high. And Kerry just doesn't look comfortable right now.
No,
No, maybe it's the pressure of being the host proprietor on TV. You want to look good for everybody in front of your house, because you know we know Kerry can shoot big scores.
right, and he truly can be feeling different pressure because he is the only proprietor bowling here in his home house. And, I mean, only Kerry knows what he's feeling during his approach.
Yeah, I mean, you got 4 other teammates that are counting on your efforts here, and unfortunately for Kerry, that's his second open this game, and takes the match down to even right now after 7 frames. Once again, 2 games, total pins decides the champion. If we did happen to have a tie at the end of the 2 games, the team captains would pick 3 bowlers and do an 8th, 9th, and 10th frame roll-off to break the tie. Dave Gajewski strapping it up on the bottom there and mixes everything up nicely to take that 7 out late.
Good shot from David. Made an adjustment off his opening 10-pin he left.
Gets Town and Country that 10-pin lead since he's got his team a double now. Dave Lubinsky stepping up.
Big Dave staying with the Roto Grip Asylum.
There's a tugboat chant in the crowd, and yeah, no problem
barreling over those 10 pins.
He didn't tug that shot.
No doubt. So, bpsmilwaukee.com. Check out those summer specials. I know a friend of mine just came in recently. Brand new bowler. She picked up a ball from what she saw on your website. And always not just good information about sales and stuff on there, but good tips as well, Joey, you have.
Right, and summer's a good time to work on our games, and all games need work at one point or another.
I know I'm staying in at least one summer league this year to do that, experiment, play around a little, and Rob would like to get that shot back and kick that 10 pin out. 36 300 games for Rob with a high set of 848. I want to thank his wife Tracy for all of her support, and the best sponsor ever, Merrill Draper down at Town and Country. And two members of the team that aren't here today, Matt Zagar, who we've seen his sons we've seen Matt's sons Ryan and Kyle on quite a few times. Matt had a previous work commitment, couldn't make it, so that's when they got Derek on board. And Tony Buss bowls with them at the USBC tournament as well. And that's what got Steve Fisher on board when Tony couldn't make it today. So they always have a pretty good showing out at Town and Country lanes at the USBC National Tournament.
Yeah, not a bad group of bowlers there. Let's see if Eric can continue his run. But he did leave a bucket last time up on this lane.
Yeah,
and again, we know this lane's tighter on the right side, so evidently it may be a little tighter on the left.
Yeah, he got that one out a little more than friction. And
yes,
how
he
about
did.
that for the tickle down of the messenger there?
He moved left, and we saw our second messenger of the match.
And that's huge because now that gets Motion Plus Lanes in the lead by 1 pin. And boy, that head pin just stayed on long enough for the head of it to knock out the bottom of the 7, and he knows how huge that shot is. Sees teammate Chad coming out there to give him a big high five, but Jerry Reamer can strike out for his team here, get him to 187. Keep this match nice and tight. Very stiff-legged at the foul line, and just gets that 8-10 out.
Just enough to carry that.
We won't say that was an 8-10 there, Jerry, but it was pretty close. You can see the guys from Motion Plus razzed them a little bit there, too. And a little light. Could have been a 2-8-10 and the 8-10 with the last 2 to go.
You notice Jerry does end up a couple feet behind the foul line, making the pocket not 60 feet away, but 62 feet away. But when you're as good as Jerry, you can afford to do that.
Absolutely. I think Jerry made the All-Star telecast at Town and Country this year. I'll have to ask him next time I get a chance to talk to him. I'll have to watch him on that match out there, and a little bit high for the 9 pin.
Figures after almost 8-10, you almost stone a 9. Well, you do stone a 9. No double, but looks like with a spare here, a 177. Now, Phil, if my math is correct, we could see a tie. And no need for a 9th and 10th roll-off since we have a full game to decide the tiebreaker.
Exactly, yeah. If Chad, let's see, well, it's assuming that Jerry's going to pick up the spare here for the 177, which he's right on top of it. Yeah, if Chad were to go 9 spare strike here, that would give Motion Plus Lanes a 177. They do have a max right now of 198, so they can take a 21-pin lead into game number 2 if Chad can strike out here. And Chad struggled a little bit in the 10th frame of the 2 games so far. Left the Greek Church in game 1 of the semifinal and couldn't tickle that 7-pin out in game 2. Working towards that perfect game for Motion Plus Lanes. Let's see what he can do in this 10th frame.
6-step approach on that shot and leaves a 9. Was that the 4-pin right in front of the 9?
It was almost a mirror image of exactly what Jerry Reamer just did on lane 9. It was, if you watch the replay here, you'll see the 2 hit the 4 coming off the sideboard, and the forward slides right in front of the 9 pin.
In front of the 9.
So a spare here and a strike, and we're going to turn this 2-game match into a 1-game match because it would be tied at 177.
Very surprisingly low score, but Town and Country did have 3 opens as well as 2 doubles, and Motion Plus 2 opens but only 1 double.
Yeah, and you know Kerry Catania right now is beating himself up on the sidelines for the 2 opens he gave his team. So they're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have a little team meeting during the commercial break here. Both teams will. I mean, $1,400 on top for first prize today. It's a lot of drinks here at the bar. Motion Plus Lanes to take care of when it's done.
And there's our tie, and on to game 2.
177 apiece. Down to the final match here for the 2014 edition of the Action Team Shootout. Joe Serrano will be back from Motion Plus Lanes in just a moment with that final game. Pick up the latest issue of Wisconsin Bowler Magazine, now available in your local bowling center. If your local center does not carry Wisconsin Bowler Magazine, ask them to. It's free to them and free to you.
Well, $1,400 first place, $900 for second, so a little chunk of change difference on the line here in this championship match for Motion Plus Lanes. Kerry Catania trying to get the crowd fired up here. And Scott Stoltz trying to go 4 for 4 on first frames today in his matches.
Maybe he bears down a little more on that opening shot than he does on his second, because I don't think he struck on his second shot, but he has on his first.
And once again, strikes on that first shot. Yes, indeed. Yeah, he struck on the second shot game number 2 of the semifinals when they had the front 9, but yeah, he struggled a little bit in that 6th frame prior with getting corner pins out, and that could have been a 7-9. That ball drove nice and deep. Steve Fisher up here.
Now Steve should have no trouble in the oilier lane. Stays inside. Little grip, Defiant Soul, 10 back.
Yeah, you can say he's playing that lane probably 3 to 4 boards tighter through the front of the lane and down lane than it was on lane number 9, and no doubt getting all 10 back on that shot. Just a matter he knew there, just don't leave me that cold 8-pin. Bowls a lot at Surfside Lane is down in Kenosha. Well, Hedges family owners down there for quite a few years. And owner here, Kerry Catania Motion Plus Lanes, looking to get some carry himself, and how about that? Huge shot there. He's thanking the bowling gods a little bit for that one after his struggles in the opening game of this match. Nice to get a double on the board for his team and a 10-pin lead early. A little mixer there, and the celebratory arms in the air for the man in black of Cudahy. Well, let's see if Derek Bolton can match carry here and get this match back into a tie game. Long push away and follow through, and is he going to get that 10 out? Not
just
quite.
Came a little late into the pocket.
Well, once again, polyester ball comes off one of the side racks here in Motion Plus Lanes to cover up that spare. Yeah, Messenger just didn't want to do the job to get that 10 pin out.
You can see how important it is to get the ball off your hand cleanly and not get the deflection as the ball enters the pins, because pretty much every corner pin we've seen, both 7s and 10s, we see the ball leaving the deck pretty much behind the 9 pin as opposed to behind the 5 or 8 pin.
Yeah. Key would be try to get that 8-9 split by the ball every time. And how about that for a little extra help kicking that 10 pin out there.
Yet, there's Dave with the high rev rate. You can see his ball did deflect, but that high rev rate gets pin action that most bowlers just won't see.
Yeah, we saw him carry a couple of impressive messages when he won the Action Heating Cooling Singles Shootout title earlier this season. Dave Gajewski looking to get his team back striking again, and tomahawks that 4 down.
And the light mixers have carried pretty well here, as long as you get enough rev rate on the ball to get some pin action.
Not too many just straight out strokers in this match, other than power tweener maybe with Kerry Catania, Scotty Stoltz, but definitely some power players all over in this match.
Well, the game has gotten to where speed and revs are big assets in the sport. But that's true for many other sports as well. Tennis, you see more power players. Golf, you see more long ball hitters.
And you see, part of it's because of the physicality of the bowlers and the other parts of equipment. And yeah, it is easier to get the ball to hook more and hook in different manners with the equipment nowadays as compared to 30 years ago. But you have to be able to be good enough to do it as well. So
right. It's not just power.
Yeah.
It's not just speed and revs. What I'm saying is those two assets, along with a high skill set, it gives you kind of an advantage.
Absolutely. Rob Milbrath snaps that ball through on the bottom, and 10 back, parting that 8 and 9 with the ball.
Good shot from Rob, and Rob more the traditionalist.
Yes, indeed.
And then there's Chad. Now Chad you can't classify as a power player, but he's definitely not a stroker.
Yep.
It's kind of that power tweener.
Yeah, definitely a rev rate just under 400, I would have to say. We're just around the 400 range. But he's one that doesn't mind taking the scenic route once in a while. Gets that ball to come back in and, well, ends that strike string for Motion Plus with that weak 10 pin. And now it gets interesting because Chad spares this here and Jerry can come up and get a strike. It's going to be basically an even game.
Well, 1 pin edge to Team Town and Country.
Yeah, it's because of where the strike is placed, or the spare is placed, because Derek had that spare in the second frame for Town and Country, so they went 20-40. We're now with being on a string of strikes, you get that little 9 in there.
So we could see a 280 to 279 match.
It's a distinct possibility at the rate these teams have suddenly decided to start striking. And Jerry's been in the pocket all game long, all match long. Just that little bit of a high 9 pin on the second ball of the 10th frame last game. That needs some help looping back, and he kicks the 10 out.
Great shot from Jerry.
I thought that one was going to have a little trouble getting all the way back to the hole, but he's got the hand to get it back up and in there, and watch that 6 just slap the 10 out.
Notice these players do not abide by the skid snap ball motion.
With that shot, we'll take our last commercial break of the day. Join us back from Motion Plus Lanes for the rest of this final match.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. With 24 state-of-the-art lanes, plenty of pool tables and dartboards, and great food and drink at Sporty's Bar and Grill, Sunset Bowl in Waukesha is your #1 place for fun.
Five frames remaining here at Motion Plus Lanes for the 2014 Action Team Shootout. $1,400 on top. That slight lead for Motion Plus Lanes right now, but they're only working on a strike while Town and Country's working on 3 in a row, Joe.
So slight advantage to Team Town and Country, basically just due to the 1 pin better pin count so far. Let's see if Scotty can keep up his string of great shot making.
Taking a little extra time on the approach, knows how important this shot is. Pretty nice off the hand. Gets them all down.
Got that ball to finish deep right behind the 8 pin.
High fives all the way around for that Motion Plus team. But depending on what Steve Fisher does in the shot, that lead might go over to Town and Country Lanes. See Scott watching that one all the way through. And you see his teammates doing it as well. They're always looking for that, what that ball's doing on the back end in case their ball might do the same thing. 5 steps for Steve. He likes that when he's walking away from it already, Joey. That's some confidence there.
Yeah, when you get it off your hand the way you know you can get it off your hand, you know it's going to have some power, and Steve felt it on that shot.
And that's that's letting your opponent know too that, hey, we're locked in now and we've got the lead. And I don't even think that ball was at the arrows yet. He knew that it was that good. Just walking away and a little something to get in the other team's head with.
Yeah, a little bounce in his step there, and Kerry again trying to make amends for some of his earlier shot making. Solid shot there.
Whoa, it crawled. Wow.
He carries the crossover carry. That's the only one we've seen today.
I don't even know.
He just doesn't have his game today.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, he was good all day during qualifying and held him in there, especially during match play, but that one got a little grabby on the bottom and got a huge break to kick out the 6 and the 10, and that could be the match changer right there.
Well, he is on the driver of the 2 lanes, and he is showing that there isn't a big heavy wall in the middle of the lane.
Yeah. Well, let's see if his other 3 remaining teammates can take advantage of that. And sometimes the other team's watching breaks, it kind of gets in their head. Derek didn't let it get in his head, though. Gets that 4-8 out.
That could be a big difference maker right there, tripping out the... Was that the 4-8?
That was the 4-8 that went out last, and yeah, just kind of watched that 2-pin just barely get both pins down. And we've got ourselves a 1-pin match with 3 frames to go. Doesn't get any more exciting than this. Dave Lubinsky up, and straps that ball right through. No chance of anything standing on that shot.
It was vintage Dave right there, quick and powerful.
Gets the lead back into Motion Plus's lane side by 9 pins. What a strike by Dave Gajewski to get his team 5 in a row.
Mike Pagel's probably wondering, or I'm sorry, Mike Levinsky is wondering, oh, welcome, Mike Pagel. But Mike's wondering, where does that kid of mine get that power from? Because Mike didn't have that power when he grew up.
No, he was pretty much a stroker that liked to hook the lane like his son does there, but
he could
a lot
hook
more
it.
power. Yeah,
He definitely hooked it, but the rev rate is just double.
exactly, and the speed's about double too.
Oh yeah, well now for sure.
Well, Dave Gajewski keeps his team with that 1-pin lead with his strike in the 8th frame down to these last 4 bowlers for their teams. Eric Fritt needs to get the lead back for Motion Plus. Not too bad out of his hand. Can't get a messenger to take the 7 out.
And he did carry a messenger earlier, and his only other non-strike was that dinner bucket.
Oh, you got to keep your composure together now. I mean, yeah, you did leave a 7-pin, but open here, you can pretty much, with the talent on Town and Country remaining, you can count yourself out of the match with an open frame.
All right, but that was a big tap because that was the foundation frame, and your opponents are striking. You never want to not carry the 1 in the 9th.
Opponents on 6 in a row, and now that's going to get your team down, if they carry the shot in the 9th, by at least a dozen pins, if not more. And you can see right now, Rob Milbrath's going to be taking a little extra time getting ready for this shot. Make sure the hand's nice and dry.
Now, Rob is a tactician. You can see he's always worried about that arm swing being straight and loose, nice and tight, close to the body. Bounces that thumb in and out of the ball like Wes Malott does before his first step.
And just creeps high.
Yeah, he just either got a little soft or just caught it a little extra.
And ladies and gentlemen, with a spare here, we are down to a 1-frame match with the anchor bowlers. If Rob spares here, that would give them 209 in the 8th and a spare in the 9th. Motion Plus at 208 in the 8th and the spare in the 9th, which basically means whatever Chad Kloss does in the 10th frame, Jerry Reamer is going to have to match him to win by a pin.
And Chad, definitely the power player of the 2, playing on the drier lane. That could make it interesting. But Chad's a great inside player.
Chad's had some 10th frame struggles though so far today.
But has Jerry doubled in the 10th? No, he has not. He went strike 9-pin last time.
Let's see what Chad can do here. Looks solid out of his hand, Joey. Scrambles it up.
Solid and soft. He doesn't grab it in the pin action. Saw that messenger go toward the 10, which wasn't standing.
Yeah, no need for that messenger there. And Town and Country had lane choice. Jerry Reamer wanted to control this match in his hand as team captain in the 10th frame, and he's going to get that chance once Chad Kloss is done here.
Well, this is the big shot, Phil. To put the pressure on your opponent. And again, Chad does it the right way. He gets power without gripping on it or ripping on it. He open hands it at release.
Strike here will definitely force Town and Country and Jerry Reamer to double to try to get the win. And how about that kick on the 10?
Yeah, that might have been a fortunate break there for Chad. I don't think he liked it off his hand as well as he did the opening shot. But a double's a double.
Exactly. And now, right now, every pin counts. If he strikes here, it's 258. That would make Jerry Reamer strike out to win by a pin, or we could have a tie with a double in 9 by Town and Country lanes. So Chad definitely taking a little extra time. See if he makes a move off that last shot at all. Sometimes in a week 10 hit, they might make a move. I think he's pretty comfortable where he's at. Coming into your living room, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to get a carry and doesn't get the 10 that time.
That was a better shot than the second one, and he rings the 10. Now, that could prove costly if Jerry goes double 9, a 1-pin lead.
That would be 258. So, yeah, right now, first 2 strikes are a must for Jerry Reamer.
But again, you don't want to look too far in advance. You want to focus on one shot. First shot in the 10th, right now is the biggest shot of the day for Jerry Reamer.
And we've seen Jerry step up. Town and Country made this tournament before. He stepped up and been clutch. Looks pretty sweet out of his hand and just That two-pin decided he wanted to play games with him for a second there.
That could have been an unusually bad break where the 2-pin could have stood where the 8-pin normally stands.
I've seen that once or twice over the years in bowling, and yeah, just watch that 2-pin just be the last one to fall off the deck. And
was that the 2-pin, or
that
was that just an 8-pin that got paralyzed a little bit?
No,
I'll have to watch the replay again and again and again.
Yeah, I think that was the 2. Well, one of the 2 big shots down. This is the one. $1,400 for first place, $900 for second. $100 a man difference here in this match. That's a little left out of his hand, and that bit hard.
Yeah, he set it down a little early, and that ball read early. It may have even hooked on the approach a little.
And that is game over for Town & Country Lanes. You can see on the right side of your screen there, handshakes going around the team with Motion Plus. Town & Country coming over, shake hands as well, and I'm sure Jerry's going to live that shot over and over for a little while after making that spare attempt. What a great final match, 434 to 425. Motion Plus Lanes takes the title and $1,400. We're going to come back with team captain Kerry Catania and talk to a couple of his bowlers and talk to somebody from Town & Country Lanes in just a moment, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Barbiere's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Bluemont Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. Well, Kerry, another exciting finish for a tournament here at Motion Plus Lanes. Back in January for the alternate shot doubles, Rochelle and Tony Roventini had a strikeout in the 10th frame to win by a pin. Today, your team captain, Chad Kloss, steps up in the 10th frame, forces the other team to strike out to win as well. And, you know, you caught a lucky break there in the 10th frame for your team.
Yeah, they definitely bowled good all day. I know I didn't bowl well, but they did. They carried us.
Well, let's get the captain here for the second place team. Let's get Rob in here. Rob Milbrath. Great bowling all day. Is it tough? I mean, the advantage for the top seed in this tournament is when you qualify first seed, you're the top seed on the TV show, but you got to wait almost a couple hours by the time the semifinals get done. What'd you guys do to get around that or try to keep yourself in the game?
We sat and had a couple of beverages and tried to keep loose. Went through a couple of shots down on 1 and 2 and just tried to stay focused.
I mean, a great game the last game. I mean, back and forth with the other team, lots of strikes, and unfortunately, just a couple of shots either team carries, and it's a whole different ball game. I mean, your shot in the 9th frame, I looked at it and I thought it was really good, and it just kind of left a little bit of a 10-pin there.
Yeah, just I grabbed it a little hard at the bottom. I was a little jacked up. I was pretty nervous. You want to come out and throw the best shot you can. Team bowled great all day. Can't say enough about them. Picked each other up all day long, and can't hang our heads too low. It's a good team that beat us.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great day. And Kerry, how much money we have for him thanks to Action and Cooling for second place today?
Congratulations, $900.
Thank you very much.
I'm sure some of that will be spent at the bar here. Rob, thanks for your team bowling again. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cool.
I'm going to hand you the money in the left hand. Just want to make sure. So my shake your hand, I'm going to hand you the money in the left hand. Just want to make sure. So my shake your hand, I'm going to hand you the money in the left hand.
Well, normally talk to the winning team captain, but obviously we got you as the host proprietor. So let's get your anchor bowler in there, Chad Kloss. Chad, come on in. The first game, or the second game of the Baker first match, your team of the front 9, and you throw a relatively good ball, just a little bit of an iffy 10-pin. And any thought of that come through your mind when you knew you had to step up and really put pressure on Town & Country in the 10th frame of the second game of that match?
Not really. I just figured throw it good, and if they fall, they fall. If not, I blame it on Kerry.
That's always a way to do it. Blame it on the host proprietor, no doubt about that. So, great bowling by you and your team. Motion Plus Lanes up on top today. First time the home team wins at a home center, so good for you guys. And how much money are you spending on your team at the bar here, Kerry? I don't think much of it's going to these guys, right?
Well, I got $1,400 right here for the team, so we'll see what happens. Congratulations.
Awesome bowling today, guys. Great job, Chad. Thanks for bowling again. And Kerry, another awesome tournament thanks to Action Heating and Cooling. I mean, a great prize fund, TV show that everybody's going to love on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. And we're all set again for next year with the singles, doubles, and team event thanks to Action Heating and Cooling.
Once again, want to thank Tiana and Joe Peckus at Action Heating and Cooling.
Yeah, great people down there. If you need anything with your air conditioning this summer, give them a call, 414-291-5400, or see them at actionwi.com on the internet. Chad, I bet you we'll see you on the single show again next year. I know you made the double show this year, so you're here for every event.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'm just getting older, so we'll see.
As we all are. So, and I see a tinge in the gray there on myself and Kerry as well. You're going to catch up to us soon. So, but great tournament. Thanks again, Kerry, for hosting again. Awesome events here we have at Motion Plus Lanes. We got a youth tournament coming up in June here. Youth Bowlers, make sure you check Facebook on our Youth Challenge Series group for that. All kinds of stuff here next year. And check him out for spring leagues, too. He's got a fun league here on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. Give him a call here at Motion Plus Lanes, 481 0200 is the phone number here. Area code, of course, 414, being in good old Cudahy. For my friend Kerry Catania here at Motion Plus Lanes, for my friend Joe Serrar back at Bowlers Pro Shop, I'm Phil Bridlow. And parents, take the kids bowling. They'll have fun for life. We'll see you on our next show.